You can scroll, yeah. Thank you very much. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Sodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayam Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada. Jayom Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Parikacharya, Satara, Sada, Shishi, Mata's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Jai Radha Krishna Gopakupanash Shai Makunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaurana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navdeep Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Garanga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Chapter 47, and verse number 52. Hey Nata, hey Rama Nata, Raja Natarti Nashana, Magnam Udara Govinda, Gokulam Rijina Navat, Hey Nata, hey Rama Nata, Raja Nartarti Nashana, Magnam Udara Govinda, Gokulam Rijinarnavat. Hey Nata, hey Rama Nata, Raja Nartarti Nashana, Magnam Udara Govinda, Gokulam Rijinarnavat. Hey Nata, hey Rama Nata, Raja Nartarti Nashana, Magnam Udara Govinda, Gokulam Rijinanavat. Hey Nata, hey Rama Nata, Raja Nartarti Nashana, Magnam Udara Govinda, Gokulam Rijinarnavat. Anyone else? Hey Nata, O Master. Hey Ramanata, O Master of the Goddess of Fortune. Rajanata, O Master of the Cowherd Village. Arti, of suffering. Nashanam, O destroyer. Magnam, submerged. Udara, uplift. Govinda, O Govinda. Gokulam, Gokula. Vrijina, of distress. Arnavat, from the ocean. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. O Master of the Goddess of Fortune, O Master of Braj, O Destroyer of all suffering, Govinda, please lift your Gokula out of the ocean of distress in which it is drowning. Please repeat. O Master, O Master of the Goddess of Fortune, O Master of Braj, O Destroyer of all suffering, Govinda, please lift your Gokula out of the ocean of distress in which it is drowning. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti presents the following insight into this scene. Someone might propose to the gopis, and that someone who did is actually Uddhava, why don't you just go somewhere else, leave Vrindavan, and then you won't have to see these rivers, mountains, and forests. Cover your eyes with your garments, use your intelligence to lead your minds to some other thought, and thus forget Krishna. The gopis answer this suggestion in the previous verse by stating, we no longer possess our intelligence, for Krishna has taken it away by his supreme beauty and charm. Now in the present verse, the feelings of the gopis become so strong that they disregard Uddhava and turning towards Mathura, address Krishna himself with humble cries. They address Krishna as Vrajanath because in the past, young Krishna performed many inconceivable pastimes to protect his beloved village people, such as lifting Govardhan Hill and destroying many monstrous demons. In this heart-rending verse, the gopis cry out to Krishna to remember the wonderful, sweet relationship they once enjoyed together as innocent village people. Indeed, Sri Krishna would lovingly take care of his father's cows, and the gopis appealed to him to remember these duties and to return so he could resume them. Om Agena Timarandasya Gyanan Gyanan Shalakaya Shakshu Umnikanan Gena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yeno Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swabadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Badai Krishna Bastai Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminitanamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvasesa Shunyavadi Prashachadeshtarani Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanavyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Gyan, which is what Uddhava, knowledge, which is what Uddhava is presenting to the gopis here, can never conquer bhakti. In the beginning stages, while we're still neophytes, we do cultivate gyan. It's called sambandha gyan. It's not gyan like the gyanis or the impersonalists who are trying to understand every single thing about this material manifestation. It's not some sort of empiric knowledge that the scientists want to accomplish or a gain. But it's Gyan, Sambandha Gyan, which is knowledge of our relationship with Krishna and who Krishna is. But in the case of the gopis, they know who Krishna is better than anyone else because they're his most intimate servants and lovers. So they're in distress, but this distress is prem, it's love. It's not like our distress in this material world. This distress in this material world is simply that, distress. But there in the spiritual world, this distress is another form of ultimate pleasure, Krishna prem. So Krishna has ostensibly sent Uddhava to Vrindavan in order to send a message to the gopis and earlier to his parents to alleviate their distress. However, that's not the real mission. The real mission is really to give Uddhava an insight into what Braj Prem is. Because Uddhava, although he is the most confidential servitor of Krishna in Mathura, he doesn't have the same intimacy as the residents of Braj. So he's coming with this message, which was written by Krishna, in which he's encouraging the gopis to somehow or other try to forget Krishna. It's interesting, the way that the purport reads here, says, why don't you go somewhere else? Leave Vrindavan, and then you won't have to see these rivers, mountains, and forests. Cover your eyes with your garments, use your intelligence to lead your mind to some other thought, and thus forget Krishna. In modern pop, self-help sorts of books, people say, go to your happy place. Your happy place might be the beach or the mountains, or maybe it's eating chocolate chip cookies at your grandma's table. But these happy places are in the material world, and they're never really happy, even though they may seem to be at the time. But here Uddhava is saying to the gopis, go to a happy place. Well, the happy place is only where Krishna is. So really what he's saying is, please meditate on Krishna, whether he's saying something else or not. And at this point, the gopis, they actually just turn away from Uddhava and start appealing directly to Krishna. So they're going to their happy place, which is connecting themselves with Krishna in any circumstance, whether he's there or not. It's inconceivable to us to have this kind of consciousness because we're in a state of forgetfulness. Over and over again, we, as Aditya Narayan spoke on Friday, we go to a place where we forget Krishna. And actually, that's the conditioned soul's problem, is going to a place where we forget Krishna over and over again, birth after birth. I'm going to read the other two. I'm not going to read Vishwanath Chakravarti's Tika because that actually was completely summarized in the purport. But I am going to read now Jiva Goswami and part of Sanatana Goswami's because they're very similar. Our grief has not dissipated from your instruction. Hey, look, this instruction doesn't help. Not paying attention to Uddhava, the gopis stood up, faced Mathura, and began calling their beloved in loud voices. In misery, while weeping, they spoke. And we have to understand, this misery is not the misery that's being experienced in this world, where people are really in misery. You look at the news, there's a lot of misery, whether it's a hurricane or a war or an earthquake, it's a lot of misery. They prayed for protection of Gokula, ignoring their own suffering, being unable to tolerate the suffering of Gokula, on remembering his affection for the place. Prabhupada would often say that sign of a really great devotee, a pure devotee, is they're not really concerned with their own well-being, so to speak, but they're concerned with others' well-being. So the gopis, they're not praying, oh, please relieve our suffering, but they're praying to Krishna to relieve the suffering of Gokula. the cows, his parents, the cowherd boys, the trees, the creepers, everything in Braj, which is, it's all conscious, and it's all everything is surrounded, centered on Krishna. And we oftentimes we speak about the pastimes of Radha Krishna, these wonderful stories that the acharyas tell, and about the Radha and Krishna, or the gopis and the manjaris. But you know, everything in Vrindavan is conscious. Imagine being Krishna's necklace or Radharani's crown. Who could be closer to Krishna or Radha than their jewelry? How wonderful. In some ways more wonderful than anything. And everybody in Vrindavan has this relationship. So the gopis are not crying for themselves, they're crying for Vrindavan. O Krishna, they first call out to him by his name, which indicated his very self, which appeared with them constantly, along with all his astounding pastimes, qualities, and forms. They then called out names descriptive of Krishna. Another version has Nata, master, instead of Krishna. O master of all of us gopis. They call out to reveal their feelings for him. O Lord, solicited Nata by all persons up to Lakshmi, Rama, but rarely giving your glance of mercy to them. Lakshmi wants to enter into the pastimes of the gopis in Vrindavan, but she can't do it. Because although she meditates for, as described, thousands of years, and it's unlimited years, on this service that the gopis rendered to Krishna, because she has her upadhi. And it's not an upadhi because it's a real designation. Her designation is that she is always at the feet of the Lord, and she's worshiping him in this way. We see Lakshmi is always at the feet of Vishnu, serving Vishnu with great love and affection for eternity. So much so that Krishna, that she's the golden streak on Krishna's chest, the mark of Srivats. So in this way, Lakshmi is always with Krishna, but not as in that most intimate way. Tasmad mach charanam goshtam man natam mat parigraham gopaya swatma yogena soyam me vrata ahita. I must therefore protect the cowherd community by my natural powers, for I am their shelter. I am their protector, and indeed I am everything to them. I have taken a vow to protect my devotees. This is Krishna speaking in the Bhagavatam 10:25-18. According to this statement, Nata means that he is the Lord of Braj, Man Natam. Thus, he is also the destroyer of Vraja's misery. He made this vow. Now, however, Gokula is drowning in an ocean of grief. Please deliver all living beings living there, instead of Vrijinarnave, sometimes Vrijinarnavat is seen. By just showing yourself once, all misery will be destroyed and everyone will be brought to life and become happy. O Govinda, you are bathed and enthroned as the king of Gokula. You must protect your name Govinda by performing suitable actions. Come on. You're Govinda. You've made this promise. You've got to save us. They have this intimate relationship where they can actually speak that way. You've got to save us. I mean, you're Govinda. How could Krishna refuse the gopis who prayed to destroy the grief of the people of Braj? How could he refuse? ignoring their own pain caused by separation. That's a rhetorical question. How could he refuse? He doesn't refuse. But this is all being done. All this emotion is reflecting the feelings of the gopis, and whether he's there or not, he's always there with them. And whether he comes to protect Braj personally or not, he's always protecting Braj, because he's always there. And now reading part of Sanatana Goswami's, O Lord of Lakshmi, Ramanath, the word he, is repeated out of great pain. Since you are the Lord of Lakshmi, you should not ignore other persons. O protector of Braj, Brajanath, or O lover, Ram, O Lord of Braj, where there is no Lord except you, Ananta Brajanath. You never ignore people who are suffering, Artinashana. By this they refer to themselves. Save all the living beings of Gokula, drowning in the ocean of suffering. And then he goes on to repeat the same things that Jiva Goswami says, which is, you're Govinda. As Govinda, you'll save all the devotees in Braj. So this is, on the surface, it's piteous situation. They're crying to Krishna, who's not there. They're not happy because Uddhava's preaching has not really helped them. But really, this is bliss. This is the ultimate happiness. And this ultimate happiness in relationship to Krishna is because everyone in Braj is helpless. They're helpless. And then in the material world, we think helplessness is a bad thing. And it is. Because then we're at the mercy of others. We can't help ourselves. People are helpless. They feel powerless. But in Braj, everyone feels helpless because Krishna is everything. And because they feel this helplessness, Krishna reciprocates completely with them, fulfilling everything, all their desires. And they are giving everything to Krishna. So that this is a completely intimate relationship at any level, whether it's Dasya or Sakya or ultimately Madhurya. This is total intimacy. So that this helplessness is ultimately what we want. We want to be helpless so that Krishna protects us, and then we can serve Krishna without any fear. Now, the alternative to helplessness is spirit in the material world is hopelessness. It's really hopeless. People want to live forever. That's hopeless. People want to be really happy in this material world. That's hopeless. People don't want to suffer pain or misery. That's hopeless. And then rebirth, well, unless you become Krishna conscious, that's going to happen too. So that's hopeless. So this hopelessness cannot be alleviated by any amount of scientific discovery or political negotiations. It's going to remain hopeless. I just read an article recently. There's this one woman, I think she's either the oldest woman in the world or the second oldest. She's like 116, and she has no physical maladies, except she's deaf. No, not completely probably, but things that wear out. But she has had no cancer, no heart disease. She's healthy as you can be at 116. And she's not senile. She can remember everything. And so they're saying, perhaps she has the key to immortality. But 116 is not immortal. And even if she makes it to 120, she's not immortal. Brahma, who lives to be 314 trillion, is not immortal. So this material world there aren't any solutions, even if you are in, quote, perfect health at 116. So what do we do? Well, Prabhupada has some words about this. He has words about this in which he speaks about the fact that remembering Krishna, it's easy, but the problem is we don't want to. I mean, speaking as living entities in this material world in general. Devotees, we know now that we should want to always remember Krishna, and we try to remember Krishna, but we still sometimes forget. But everyone else, lower than human beings, they're all forgetful, except maybe the elephants at the temples who are being engaged in service. But being forgetful is what this material world is about. So here Prabhupada speaking in Los Angeles in 1972 in a class, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So to remember Krishna, there are so many opportunities. But we don't want to remember Krishna. That is a difficulty. Therefore, it is said, Janma Guyam Bhagavata Janma, God's appearance. God is appearing every moment, everywhere. Here, just in front, Radha Krishna, he's pointing to the deities there at the temple. Personally, he is present. But others will see stone because they do not have purified eyes. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he sees, he falls down immediately, unconscious. Oh, here is my Lord. So when Lord Chaitanya sees Lord Jagannath, immediately he falls unconscious. This is not a block of wood. This is not, some sort of symbolic something or other. This is Krishna. He sees directly. So you have to purify to see God. God is present everywhere. You haven't to ask anybody, can you show me God? Have you seen God? These questions are sometimes made. But where is the difficulty to see God? But you don't like to see God. That is a difficulty. Otherwise, there's no difficulty. So this is the case. People are saying, I want to see God, but they want to see God, defend their material position or give them some, material happiness. But God, Krishna, won't reveal himself in truth, tektva deham punarjanma, to someone who's not surrendered. Ye yatam mam prapadyate tam sadaiva bhajamyaham. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So for a lot of people, they may see God just simply as an order supplier. An atheist probably sees God only as death. Prabhupada speaks in another class. Now, this is very interesting. This is talking about how we can see Krishna. Just like this temple. This temple is spiritual. Vaikuntha. It is not Los Angeles. Don't think like that. It is Vaikuntha. Because here, every second, the remembrance of Krishna is there. Therefore, it is not Los Angeles. Or anyone who remembers Krishna always 24 hours, he's living in Vaikuntha. He is not in the kingdom of Maya. That is required. Satatam chintayanto mam. Always thinking of me. In the Bhagavad Gita you will find Satatam chintayanto mam. So if you keep this practice, always thinking of Krishna, then you are not in the material world. You are always in the spiritual world. For practical example, just like there are foreign embassies in foreign countries, so long the diplomats there, they are within the embassy, they are not living in the foreign country. That is the law. Suppose I belong to some foreign embassy. So if I have committed a crime, I still cannot be, and he doesn't finish it, but so if I've committed a crime, something criminal, I still can't be touched because I'm in a foreign embassy. And we've heard stories about people, they hide in foreign embassies so they don't get arrested. They get stay there for years and years. So as long as we stay attached to the temple, we're not in the material world, we're in the spiritual world. And this is part of what the cultivation of Krishna consciousness is that, yes, we're in Maya, yes, we have attachments, But when we go to the temple and see the deities, or we engage in service, we put ourselves in a situation where we're not in the material world, we're in the spiritual world. And therefore, that's why it's important that when we are in kirtan, when we're chanting japa, when we're doing our service, we should throw ourselves into these activities with complete concentration. Because, yes, we're going to go back into Maya anytime, but at least now when we're engaging in these activities, we are in touch with Krishna. We are in the spiritual world. And as meditate, there's lots of Sanskrit words for this, which I don't remember. But the fact is that remembrance of Krishna comes in short periods, and then it's interrupted. But as we advance, that remembrance of Krishna becomes constant. And that constant remembrance of Krishna, that's samadhi. And that's really always being in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada, later in another class, this is given in Vrindavan a couple of years after these other classes, talks about how easy it is to remember if we simply follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Krishna also teaches, I am here. If you cannot conceive that Krishna is present, is everywhere present, Krishna personally gives you instruction. Here I am. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. Everyone is drinking water at least 4 or 5 times a day. So at the time of drinking water or drinking anything, if you remember Krishna, then you will be purified. Maya sakta manaparta. That is yoga, bhakti yoga. If you practice only this, remembering whatever you drink something for some taste. So either you drink soda water or milk or even wine. Because Europeans and Americans, they are accustomed to drink wine. But if they follow this instruction of Krishna, that this taste is Krishna, then he remembers Krishna. So if you want to remember that Krishna is the taste of the wine, you're remembering Krishna. Manmana bhava mad bhakta. As soon as he brings Krishna in his mind, he becomes a bhakta. So easy. Anyone can become Krishna bhakta if he follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. There is no difficulty. Manmana bhava mad bhakta. Give your mind to me, become my devotee. This is a simple process. Rasoham apsu kaunteya, prabhasmi sashishuryo. This is for the ordinary class of men. And then Prabhupada goes on and says, yes, but if you're more advanced, you can do all the mantras and do everything. But if you, even an ordinary person can become attached to Krishna by that simple instruction. So much so that Prabhupada even gives the concession that for someone who's drinking wine, that if they remember, they think that Krishna is that taste, that's the beginning of their devotional service. Now, of course, for us, that's not the case, because we've come to a point that where we've advanced because of our previous activities and our activities in this life to a platform where we're really able to cultivate Krishna consciousness. But the cultivation of Krishna consciousness requires us to understand how the best way to to cultivate is. And so there's a couple of verses. This is a very famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, verse 25. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata. Tajyoshanad ashvava varga vartmani shradaratir bhaktir anukramishyati. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and therefore he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begins. Ritkarna rasana. Bhavanti Ritkarna Rasayana Kata. By one Ritkarna to the heart, from the ear, this kata comes. From who? the advanced devotee, the pure devotee. So we put ourselves in the association of the pure devotee and hear from that pure devotee. That pure devotee transfers their loving propensity, their love for Krishna to us through their words, through their instructions. Prabhupada writes, the process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. We have to hear from the Guru. We have to hear from the advanced devotee. We have to hear from Prabhupada. Because what are they doing, the advanced devotees? What is their purpose? Their purpose is only to give Krishna, nothing else. They're not going to try to help us become successful businessmen or better students or have a bigger house. That isn't what they're supposed, that's not what they do. What they do is help us become free from our attachments to this material world by becoming attached to Krishna. And what they do, well, we've already cited this verse, but we'll cite it again. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas cha dridavrata namasyantas cha mam bhaktya nitya yukta pasate. What are they doing? Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So we have to be with these devotees. And what do? We do what they do. We chant the glories of Krishna. We endeavor with great determination. We bow down before the Lord. And we follow these great souls who are nitya yukta upasate, always perpetually nitya yukta, engaged in upasate, worship. So we read about the gopis and we become purified. We're not even close to that. But the gopis, they have unbreakable love, but at least we can come to the point we have unbreakable faith. That unbreakable faith in Krishna means no matter what we hear outside, no matter what someone may propose, we know that only Krishna can solve our problems. Only the Guru giving us Krishna can solve our problems. And we have really no problems as long as we're Krishna conscious. And these other things are just like, waves in the ocean. I mean, you're not going to get rid of the waves in the ocean. That's just it. So we have to know that we're on a boat which can never be sunk because Krishna has given us his mercy through Gurudev and Prabhupada has given us everything through the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, if they're on time, there's no time for questions. But if they're a little late, maybe we can have a question, comment. Oh, it's that fast. Oh, it's a little slow on the altar. So that's Krishna. That's called Lord, the Lord's mercy. He's Radha Goloka Nanda are giving the pujaris a couple extra minutes because they're very merciful. They have a special deity time. So, yes. Yes. We shouldn't become so crazy that we think somehow or other. And that's where unbreakable faith comes in. We have to understand that Krishna will deliver us. And our Guru and Prabhupada will deliver us. Even if we become like crazy with some sort of doubts. But we have to have that unbreakable faith. That's where it says in the Bhagavad Gita that even though the devotee may commit some abominable activity, because he's fixed on Krishna, he remains a saintly person. That's the difference. A devotee may stray or do something stupid, but they're never like the non-devotee who's engaging in activities just over and over and over again that are just driving them farther and farther into the abyss. The devotee knows, I've strayed, but because I've strayed, I'm still not going to give Krishna up. I'm going to pray, and I'll take whatever reaction I get. I know I'm going to get a reaction. I'll take that, but that's Krishna's mercy. Hey, Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Goloka Nanda Ki Jai.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Kule Brajamanam Yashoda Lukala Davamagnam Param Rishdamantyantanto Drutya Gopya Yashoda Lukala Davamagnam Param Rishdamantyantanto Drutya Gopya Rudantamur netram yugmam rejantam parang honya yugmena santanka netram Muhu swasakam bhatire ganta ganta Sitai graivam damodaram bhakti bharam Idrik drik swali labir ananda kunde Swakosham nimanjantam akhyapayantam Swagosham nimanjantam akhyapayantam Tariye shijadishur bhaktarjitadvam Puna prema pram satara vritivande Varam deva moksham na moksham vadim vai Nachanyam vireham vade sharabhiya Idam seva purnata gopala balam Sada me manasya virasham kimayai Idante mukambo jamandyanta nilayar Vitam kundalai snigdha raktascha gopya Idante vapurnata muschumbitam bimbarakta darame Manasya virashamalam lakshalabai Tumbitam bimbarakta darame Manashavirastamalam Lakshalabai Namo Deva Damodaranantam Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam Drikbhagrishti Visjati Dinambatanu Grihanesha Mamagnam Edakshi Drishai Kuvera majo para mortyai vayadvai Tvaya mochito bhakti bhajakrito cha Dvaya mochito bhajakrito Tata prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha Namokshe graho me stidam modarera Prema bhaktim swayam me prayacha Namokshe graho Damodarera Namaste tu damne sporadipti damne Twadorore radara vishvasha damne Nitashadamne Gari Gati Gayai Gariya Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubyam Namo Radhikaya Dadiya Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikaya Dadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikaya Dadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Damodara Re Radha Damodara Damodara Re Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Re Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Re Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. To the Supreme Controller who possesses an eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, who stole the butters that the gopis kept hanging from the rafters of their storerooms, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yashoda, but was ultimately caught. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick, and as Mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes, he shivered in fright and his pearl necklace shook. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, who was bound by his devotee's love, I offer my humble obeisances. Those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood drown the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. To the devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayan